Poch was, when Poch had finally sort of been replaced, and they had the Pochettino song as part of it as well. So there's a whole load of things that they did to to do things I felt tastefully, and the fact that like a lot of people were saying, well, we didn't see enough Poch being sacked, and I've seen a lot of that on Twitter, and they didn't show much of that. They and it was all done very hush and quiet, and 1 minute he was gone there, and the next minute he was gone. But personally, I mean, I was a great Poch fan, so I wouldn't have wanted to necessarily see Levy phoning him or whatever the situation was, or going into his office and saying to him, by the way, you're sacked, get out tonight. Which is based on what Harry Kane was saying was the way it was. You got a call and it's like you leave tonight, pack your stuff and get out. I think talking to my son about it, he was the only thing that he thought was a bit of a shame was that we didn't get to see. Remember the message that Pochettino left on the board,
tactics board, yeah.
That we didn't get to see that, which would have been nice. But I think there was some good stuff. I think obviously a lot of stuff's been made about the Mourinho, and since Monday, Mourinho is looking over his glasses and all that sort of malarkey has become
fucking hell, man.
I mean,
I can't do it in me Pochettino.
He just went fuck off, didn't he? But it's just that was so for
Brilliant.
me. That was so not telegraphed, but choreographed for the.
It was a bit staged, yeah.
Well, so is that the bit where that's the bit where he turns the TV off?
Yeah.
He turns the TV, and he just
fuck off.
He's listening.
Mind you, I think we've all done that to Sky Sports, haven't we?
Well, exactly. That's why I completely rated him for that. I was like, I'm falling in love with him. By my God, what's wrong with me?
I mean, actually, Andy, that's a great point, actually, because it was Sky Sports, and this is an Amazon documentary.
Exactly.
Yeah. I know, it's all PR.
I didn't think of that. That's great. Think about it that way. That's really good, So it was good. There were just so many insightful parts of the show. So when they talk about Sissoko, and everyone, the man and his dog, everyone Sissoko shit, fuck, blah blah blah. But actually, amongst the players,
I love it.
Is highly regarded.
Yeah.
You got Joe from Enfield, and he's like, fucking Sissoko, don't know nothing. But actually the players that play with these players, they have a different viewpoint. I thought Aurier came across fantastic. I thought when they interviewed him, he spoke about his background. He spoke about the fact that some of his friends and his young mates would probably be in jail or
wow.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
Taken that path.
And you think about what's happened to his brother since then, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Bloody hell.
And he comes across, but it felt like from a work rate perspective, he said if you work hard, then obviously everyone loves you. Now he either doesn't read social media, or he's talking about, when he says everyone loves you, he's talking about his teammates, because it's quite
I think that's
clear
what it
that
is.
Social media doesn't love him, so he must. For me, I reckon he's talking about his teammates, and that for him is what's important. That they appreciate him, and there was that scene where he kind of, where he was being told to push on. I can't remember what game it was. If it was the Olympiacos game,
it was the Olympiacos game. Yeah, not to come back.
If I push on, then I've got. What about the 40 yards behind me space where there's a big space? So Eric will have to cover that for you. So
mind you, he doesn't normally worry about that, does he?
Well, clearly he does. That's the point. I think clearly he obviously does. But people, fans just see what they see on the pitch and go, he's fucking out. You don't know what he's fucking doing. Fucking load of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we don't see the stuff in the background, So No, there's lots of. I thought there was lots of good bits in there. Obviously, Delhi. Yeah, with Jose's opinion on Delhi. Stace, what did you make of how he treated Delhi and how he handled Delhi, and certainly having that one-to-one?
I thought it was quite smart, really, because he was trying to get him on his side, but at the same time he was giving him a kind of backhanded compliment. And I don't know. I just felt that he was trying to make Delhi aware that he knew what was going on, but at the same time not bollocking him. So, it's up to Delhi. It's up to Delhi to put it right.
He's got the most out of him.
Yeah, and he did, didn't he? Yeah. Until he got his.
He's getting the most. Yeah. He's going to be in the plan next year. He's a good cop, bad cop, good cop, bad cop. So you praise people, and then obviously he's lazy in training. He's going to tell him. I don't know if he should tell him in front of all the players. I'm not too sure. Put him into the office and tell him, "Fuck your idea up in training."
But isn't that the interesting thing? In front of all the players, like, so when we had this, when they had the interview with Mourinho in his office, and he talks about the type of person he is and what he expects, and he says, like, he only accepts 100% from the players, not 75%, whatever.
Yeah.
So in front of all the players, he says, like, in a jokey manner, but making a point.
Making a note, yeah.
Making a point. Tell you're a shit trainer. You don't train very well. I know you're.
Yeah.
But privately, he's turned around to him and said, like, you're a top talent. Alex Ferguson pointed you out as the only person for me to go out and target and sign when I was at Man United. So you can reach the heights.
Yeah.
But he spoke to him, like, he told that to him privately. So in front of everyone, it's like, he's a shit. You can do more, but you're a shit trainer. But privately, it's like, look, this is where you need to get to.
But don't you think that little bit of kind of minor embarrassment or humility that he's caused with Delhi means that it's better sometimes than just doing it privately, because he's aware that everybody else is now aware that he's not training how he should be.
Yeah, but it's also sometimes it's also a message for other people.
Yeah, exactly.
So, he'd had that incident with Delhi on. I think he'd already told Delhi. The thing about that was he actually already told him on the training ground. Remember when he came up, he said something to him. Yep. Like he said, I think he spoke about it, like him not training well. Gave him a hug, patted him, said, "Come on, kid," and then walked off. And then repeats it in front of everyone else anyway. So that may not have been necessary for Delhi's benefit. That's for that could be for everyone else's benefit. So look, I'm aware of the people that train and the people that don't train, and that's my expectation.
He comes across as a very direct and honest guy, because, as he said in that briefing to the players, you don't have to worry whether I want you in the side, because I'll let you know if I don't want you in the side.
Yeah.
That's
which I thought was that was great, because everybody knows where they stand.
He belittled Serge more than he belittled Delhi.
I think he did. Yeah,
he did, but it was a valid point.
It was.
It was a valid point. He's basically telling him, like,
I don't trust you.
You're come to get.
Think about the game, because obviously you're liable to make a mistake, and not only are you liable to make a mistake, it's a mistake that you may not even be aware that you've made, but it will be picked up by VAR. That's where you need to be. So
exactly. And I thought the great thing about that is every Spurs fan knew this, and it's good that we know that Jose knows it as well. Because otherwise we don't know these things. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Very 100%.
Everybody has a job to do with Jose. Every single player in that team will know what they're up for. You've got to. It's strategic with Jose and how he manages. And if you're not one player's, obviously Sonny not coming back to defend when he's asking him to do defensive work, and you've got Hugo ripping into him. We'll see that in the show coming up.
Yeah.
We'll see what really happened there. The players are arguing with each other. They're told, as the weeks go on, they're told specific things, what they're doing. And you look at the Bayern Munich side, every single one of them players knows what they're doing. Even the subs that come on, what a unit, and that's what he wants to do with Tottenham. You just know he's going to be exactly the same. It's very positive what's happening to us.
It is. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
Well, there was a few other bits that I picked up on. So there was like the Vertonghen thing, where they talk about Vertonghen and about him being a warrior. because he like wanting to play when he's injured and stuff like that. And the reason I kind of said what I said about the Champions League bit earlier is that he made a good quote about the Champions League and getting there and saying about, it's an amazing achievement, but but it's not history. You know what I mean? History would have been to win it, and I think where that is where, as a club, I feel we fell over. Like talking about. Even in this documentary, we talk about the fact that reaching the final
is the greatest day in the club's history. Yeah,
made us 100 million. It's in the documentary.
Yeah,
made us 100 million. Who gives a fuck? That's that should not be the most significant
But
point.
But this show isn't necessarily for Spurs. This is not just for Spurs fans.
That should not be. No one, as a fan, as fans watching it, I'm not a fan of other fans that have watched it and are ready to voice their opinion so much on social media. That has been quite good to watch, and people reacting to it. I just think it's humorous.
Yeah.
Arsenal done a documentary. Would you watch them?
I don't know. Probably not. I watched the Man City one, and I watched the Leeds one. I haven't watched the Sunderland one.
The Sunderland one is brilliant. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched that. I'm not entirely sure that I'd want to take that time out of my life to watch Arsenal.
No, I wouldn't watch the Woolwich. I wouldn't do it. I've got better things to do. I'm too busy to watch them. Don't even watch them in.
Yeah, I've got plug holes to unclog.
I'd watch it if it was Arsenal, the going home series where they, get on the Woolwich
the relegation years, the championship years.
That's right. Yeah,
for example. I think having talked to a few people, I think what surprised them, and I agree with this, is it seemed that even though Hugo is the club captain, Harry seems to do an awful lot of the team talks.
Yeah, but he was
injured.
Yeah, but Hugo was out injured at the time. So a lot of that so far, when it's been covered, Hugo's been injured. So
you'll see that change.
There was only one point that I felt that Harry spoke, and you look at it and think, well, maybe Hugo could have spoken. That was where, after the Man United game, where they're having the inquest, which was I thought actually would have been quite much more sort of energetic.
So did I. Yeah.
And and it was quite calm and considered. And Harry spoke when I thought maybe, because Hugo was right behind him, and I thought that's a chance where Hugo may have spoken. But
yeah,
they made an observation about Harry, about him being a leader on the pitch and a leader by example.
Uh-huh.
And I think actually that's what he should stick to, because I didn't think that I personally don't feel that the stuff that he said before games was much more than just trying to G people up. Whereas when Mourinho did it, when Mourinho, he wanted to get a certain point across, and he said, "Okay, today is my turn to talk." And he was much more clinical.
Yeah, he was more powerful.
Much more, inspiring with the words he came out with.
Yeah.
That kind of pumped me up for the game. Rather
when we was 2-1 down against Olympiacos, and at half time, I thought he was brilliant.
Yeah, that was really good actually.
Yeah,
he was great with that. His talk was spot on. And
I thought it was interesting as well against Chelsea at home when we went 2-0 down, and he told everybody to calm down, because I found that really interesting, because it was a terrible game, just a terrible part of the season, and the players were furious. But he was just saying, you've got to calm down. You've got to get it into your heads that you can actually turn this round and win it. Not everything's going to shit, because that's not going to take you anywhere. That's not going to help anything.
I would like to see, or like to think that at some point that there'll be a time, there's a game within the course of this season. So in the next